What is it about the vanilla milkshake that drives us to want it? Is it the fat in it? Is it the sugar in it? Is it the flavor in it? Is it the temperature? The fact is, it's all of those put together. But as you do the science, you find that sugar is the main driver. But when you add fat to that, it makes the product even more reinforcing. Power of food comes from our ability to anticipate it. And how do you make food even more salient? You just layer and load fat on sugar on fat. What I wanted to understand, in fact, one of the metaphors for the book, was why does that chocolate chip cookie have such power over me? The food industry wants to sell its product. What we now know is that many of those products are hijacking our brains. That for many people, millions of people, once they start eating, it's very hard to stop. There are millions of people who will self-report loss of control in the face of highly palatable foods, lack of satiation, lack of feeling full, a preoccupation with thinking about food between meals. What's happened is the food industry has learned to put together what looks like food, very highly processed. It's not there for nutrition. And it doesn't satisfy us, but it captures us. Next time you're in a restaurant, just look how the food is layered and loaded. So what I wanted to do was to understand, why is it so hard to control our eating? It's not just a problem for people who are overweight and obese. It's also a problem for people who are healthy weight. And in fact, for them, they are in sometimes the greatest torment because they've developed this tight level of control. They're constantly getting cued. Their brains are getting activated, but they are trying very hard to resist. So no one has explained to them why food has become so powerful, why they're obsessing. Back 50 years ago, the tobacco industry knew that smoking was harmful. If you look at how we were successful with tobacco, we changed how people viewed the product. We changed it so people now look at a cigarette and say, boy, that's a deadly, addictive, disgusting product. What we need to do is to change how we fundamentally look at food and ask ourselves, is that food nutritious? Is that going to provide the kind of nutrition I want? You have to be able to fundamentally change how you look at the food. One way to do that is to realize the extent to which you're being manipulated. If you value being healthful, if you value eating nutritiously, if you say that is the kind of food that I want, that's not the food that I want, and you're able to make that kind of distinction, and you believe it, then you can be free. Then, in essence, and only then, have you really reprogrammed your brain. The real question for the food industry is, now that we know that they're selling highly powerful stimulants, what are they going to do about it? And how are they going to act responsibly? And how do we gain control back?